Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion on visualization of financial data. Let me backtrack a bit because yesterday in one section, I made a mistake in use plotting data for uh, candlesticks. Okay, my mistake was I was trying to plot a univariate data with the type of candlesticks. Now, after the class, I realized that that was a mistake because you can only plot a data with OHLC and volume with candlesticks. So what I plotted yesterday was we were trying to plot. Okay, let me see if my. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'll have to reproduce our data. I'm sorry, class. Uh, I turned this off yesterday, so nawala yung ano ko, yung mga data. All right. So let me go back to in okay, where's our here? Okay, let me load Apple, Apple and AAPL. So just these two. Control Enter. Okay, so I now have Apple and AAPL. Okay, and then I think I need the adjusted close, this one, and I need the simple and the log returns. Okay, using quant mode, this one, daily return type is equal to log. Okay, so I'll just run this. So we have here the Apple adjusted close, Apple log returns, and I also need the log using performance analytics. I'll change the column name also. Okay, so that's it. I think those are the things that I need to load. Okay, so yesterday, when in one section I was trying to uh, create an OHLC plot, and unfortunately, it didn't run. What run was only a line chart, and I totally forgot that it has to be an OHLC data. And when after the class, before the second class, I realized, oops, I was trying to review what I was doing, and then I realized that it the data that you have to use in order to generate an OHL candlestick should be an OHLC data. So let me retry that for the benefit of those. Also reshape, by the way, I need to load this. Okay. So we learned about generating a a series, a chart in financial data. We can use the chart series. AAPL is an XS object. This is an OHLC object, which means it has opening, high, low, close, volume. Okay. So when we plot this, okay, you can see that you can't really see it, but this is a OHLC. So what we did yesterday, was to create this chart. For those of you who were in the other section, Control C, I'm going to share this in the chat box. Okay. So what's happening here? We are subsetting Apple, and we're just getting okay, this is December 1 up to December 30. You notice how it is subsetted. Okay, you use the square brackets and then quotes, and then the beginning date, and then slash up to the end date, and then uh, close quotes, and then close square brackets. And then here, I don't need to type this one because that will be the default. When you plot an OHLC object, Okay, so let me clarify that. I hope you understood what I was saying. OHLC object contains open, high, low, close, and then volume. Okay, so when we plot an OHLC time series of data, then we actually don't need to type is equal to candlesticks because that's the default. Okay, TA stands for technical analysis for your uh, technical indicators. And then if I plot this, run this data, okay, you can see here that it is now a candlestick. The same will be plotted if I include here type is equal to candlesticks. Run this, still the same. So which tells us that the type is equal to candlesticks is the default when you're plotting an OHLC object. Okay, of course, you can replace this by auto or replace that by lines, and this will be replaced by lines. So yesterday, we also discussed this. We said that the red and the green point to different things. Okay, so just by way of quick review, okay, so this is a candlestick, and you can see that there are 4 parts here, here. Okay, you have this top of the candle and bottom of the candle. Now this is reserved for the closing, opening and closing. So notice there are 2 types. We have the red one and the green one. The green one indicates that, let's say this green indicates that the closing price is higher than the opening price. So it means that the price went up. At the end of the day, the price went up. So the opening will be this one. This is opening, and the closing will be this one. That's the close. On the other hand, if it's red like this, red stands for the price going down. So the opening will be here on top, and that will be the closing. Okay, so that's color coded. All right. Now, how about we have the high and the low. The high and the low class is represented by this wick here. Of course, the highest will always be represented by this one, and the lowest will be represented by this one. This is the lowest, this is the highest. Okay, it can't be interchanged. No matter what color the candle chart is, the highest will be always on top. This one, highest, this one, highest, this one, highest, okay? This one, lowest. Okay, now sometimes you will see a candlestick like this. There, where you don't have any wick. No wick here, no wick here. When I say wick, W-I-C-K, okay, just like the wick of the candle. Okay, in this case, let's say this is colored green. This is green, which means this is the opening, right? And this is the closing. Green means the closing price is higher than the opening. And since there's no wick, the highest will coincide with this one. So this will be closing and highest, and this will be opening and lowest. Okay, so that's when you have no wick at all. Sometimes there's only one wick. You have this one. So what does this indicate? This will be the highest, this point, and the lowest will be here, coinciding with the opening, assuming this is green. On the other hand, if this is red, what happens? If this is red, this will be the opening, this will be the closing, and this will still be the highest. Sometimes it can be the wick is on the bottom side here. Okay, you can have candlesticks like this. Okay, let's assume this is red, colored red. So what does this mean? This is now your opening. This is your closing. Okay, your highest will also be here. Okay, we don't have any wick here, so your highest will be here, and the lowest will be here. Okay, so that's what we missed yesterday. I'm sorry for the other class. So I just want to make sure that you got this. All right. Okay, so I'm sorry, let me. Okay. And for the other section, we were not able to discuss yung histogram, yeah, we did histogram. We did uh, what's the other one? Histogram, and then the box plot, and then the scatter plot. I think in one section I missed the scatter plot, but what I'll be posting is the section where we were able to finish everything. Okay. All right. So let's now go to portfolio. So far, what we have been discussing is risk and return for a single asset. You only have one asset. You can compute for the average return of that. Okay. You can also compute for the I'm sorry, you can compute for the log returns. Usually we use log returns. And you can compute for the risk, which is measured by the standard deviation. So if you have daily data, then you will have uh, daily log returns, right? And then you will have daily standard deviation. But you can annualize that by multiplying the log returns by 252. Okay, square root of 252, and also the standard deviation by square root of 252. Okay. Now let's go to portfolio risk and return. So for a portfolio risk and return class, you don't only have one asset. You have two or more. Okay. So a portfolio combines multiple assets. In your case, in the future, you'll be required 10 assets. Okay, so 10 assets, you'll be asked to compute what's the risk for a portfolio and the return for a portfolio. That happens when we go to formally to portfolio optimization, but that will still be some some weeks in the future. Okay, I think I gave you this one. Could you kindly confirm if I gave you the formula, the LaTeX formula for the return of a portfolio? Kindly chat, please. Did I think it's in the file that I gave you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, but what I gave you, class, I don't think it's fixed. It's arranged. I think it's only one line. So you'll just have to learn how to fix it, practice on it, class. You know what to do, class. You can see here. At the end is the double backslash. At the beginning of each line is a ampersand, and at the end is a double backslash to make sure that our text is in line. All right. So the formula for a portfolio return is, notice, R sub P. P stands for portfolio, and it's equal to the sum of your weight of the asset multiplied by the return of the asset. Okay, so you have your sub I here. The I here indicates the asset number. So here you can find from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to 10, and refers to the number of assets. So if you have 10 assets in your portfolio, then you'll have weight 1, then return of 1, plus the weight of 2 times the return of asset 2, plus etc., plus weight 9, return of asset 9, plus weight of asset 10, return of asset 10. How do you get the weights, class? This is just, let's say, the investment in asset A, for example, only. The investment in asset A is 100, and then the investment in asset B is, let's say, 300. Let's say we have two assets. So the total investment in each asset is 400. Okay, so the weight of asset A will simply be 100 divided by 4, so that's 25%, or 0.25. And the weight of B is 0.75. That's 300 over 400. Okay, so the weight of asset A will be 0.25 multiplied by its return and the weight of asset B will be 0.75 multiplied by its return. Okay, so the formula is quite straightforward. So very simple. You just need to know the value of the asset. Okay, the value of the asset, and then the value of all the assets, then divide it by the total. So this will be your total value, and then get the rate. 100 for asset A divided by 400, that's 0.25. For B, it's 300 divided by 400, that's 0.75. The total should be 100%. Okay, the total should be 100%. So let me close the drawings. Here, class. Here. So R is the portfolio return. W sub I is the weight or proportion of the asset I in the portfolio, which I showed you. And R sub I is the return of asset I. N is the number of assets. Okay, so if you have 5 assets, this will be weight 1 plus R1 plus weight 2 until weight 5 times R5. Okay, the N here is of course the number of assets. Okay, and note, class, that the sum of the weights, which I showed you a while ago, weight 1, weight 2, weight 3, weight 4, weight 5 should be equal to 100%. Okay, we're not considering short selling here, so dapat 100% yung weight. All right, example, very basic example lang. Asset A has 10% return and 15%, asset A 10% return, and then it has 50% of the weight of the total asset. Si asset B naman 4%, and of course, ang weight din niya 50%. Okay, kasi 50 plus 50 dapat 100 eh. So how do you compute for the return of the portfolio? Very simple, no? That return of the portfolio will be, as we said, it's the summation of weight and then your return. Okay, if you're using log return. Okay, I ranges from 1 up to 2. In this case, 2 only. No? So ano yung weight 1 natin? So the return of the portfolio will be, ano yung weight I natin? Weight 1 is 50%. That's asset A. And then ano yung return na asset A? 10%. Yeah. Times 10%. And then plus, ano yung weight ni asset B? Dalawa lang sila. 50% si asset A. So dapat 50% din to. Kasi dapat yung sum ng weight should be 100%. 50% times, ang return ni asset B is 4%. So that's multiplied by 4%. Okay? So 50% times 10%, that's 5%. And then 50% times 4%, that's 2%. Kalahati ng 4%, kalahati ng 10%. So all in all, the return of the portfolio is 7%. And you'll notice that because of this formula, the return of the portfolio will be between the weight, the return of the asset 1 and the return of the other asset. Okay, if you have a 2-asset portfolio. Okay, so again, let me pause for a while. Are we clear so far, class? Clear ba yung portfolio return so far? Simple lang naman yung formula, no? Weight lang times return. So if you have 10 assets, alamin dapat natin yung ano yung mga weights nila. And that can easily be computed. Get the value of the asset and then divide it by the total. Each of them will have their own weight. And then we know how to compute the return of each asset. So very straightforward yung formula. All right. Now, yung risk class, okay, sa single asset, SD lang, di ba? Just compute for the standard deviation. SD formula lang. Okay. SD lang ng returns of the asset. So portfolio class, medyo iba, no? Medyo mas challenging class. Mas challenging. And okay, the risk of a portfolio is measured by its standard deviation. That we know, class, no? Okay, risk is measured by the standard deviation. Pero, unlike portfolio returns, portfolio standard deviation is not simply a weighted average of the individual asset standard deviation. Hindi siya yung weight times the standard deviation of each of the individual asset. Hindi ganon. Okay? So, kailangan natin kunin yung covariance niya. Okay, so this is getting to be quite tricky. No? Covariance class is related to your correlation. Okay, kasi ang correlation class is just the standardized na. In other words, class, diba? You learn from your basic stat na covariance. It's a covariance of two assets. Okay, and you write that with sigma 1, 2. Okay, notice ang variance kasi class sigma squared. But you're referring only to one asset here, variance of an asset. So you can write this as variance of, let's say, asset 1. Pero pag covariance class, you're getting it between two assets. So walang squared dito, you just indicate 1 and 2. And it's equal to the correlation of 1 and 2 multiplied by the standard deviation of asset 1 and the standard deviation of asset 2. Okay? So that's the covariance formula in relation to your correlation. So of course, correlation, if you take a look at correlation, correlation 1, 2 is equal to, okay, diba? It's your covariance 1, 2, and then divided by sigma 1, sigma 2. Okay? All right. This is standard deviation of 1. This is standard deviation of 2. This is covariance of 1 and 2. Okay? So you notice that correlation, di ba ang correlation ranges from -1 up to 1. It is the, parang ginawa mo, class, pag nagsa-standardize tayo, di ba? X minus mean over sigma. Diba? When you divide by sigma, you're standardizing it. So this is what you learned when you're converting X value into a Z value, diba? In your basic stat. So ini-standardize natin by, okay, getting the replacing it with the dividing it by the standard deviation. Okay. So we need to get the covariance or the correlation, but usually we use the covariance, no? Okay, what's the formula? Okay, what's the formula? So medyo kailangan natin maintindihan yung formula, class, no? And good thing, pwede nating solving sa R, no? Pero titingnan din natin yung we're going to look at how it's computed kasi it's important for us to understand what's happening. Okay. So take a look at this, class. Ito binigay ko sa inyo, and I think hindi rin maayos ang pagkabigay ko sa inyo, no? I think isang buong lang. So may I ask you, class, if this is the one that I gave, class? Ito ba? Or isang line siya? Paki-chat nga, please. Is it one line na hindi pa naka-edit yung LaTeX, or is it may separation na ako, naglagay na ako ng mga backslash? Okay. Ano answer? Edited na. Okay, good. Edited na, so ito na yan, no? All right. So tingnan nyo, class, no? This is the variance. Okay, sigma squared siya, no? Sigma squared. The variance of the portfolio is equal to, take a look at this strange formula, no? Medyo strange yung formula, class, no? Okay, pero good thing, may mas simple na formula yan, ito. Ito, class, no? Here. May mas simple na formula siya. Yung nga lang, dalawang summation, ano? May double summation tayo. But madaling maintindihan to, class, no? Okay, let's see. Let's start first with the two-asset portfolio. So yung pinakamadali. Remember, you're looking at the variance, and if you get the square root of that, you'll get the standard deviation of the portfolio. And ang pinakasimple, class, dalawang asset. Take note, hindi pwedeng isang asset, ha? Kasi ang isang asset, class, hindi na portfolio yun. Minimum dapat dalawang assets, no? Okay, so let's see, asset 1 and asset 2. Okay? Ano mga kailangan natin kay asset 1 at saka kay asset 2? Kailangan natin yung weights nila. Weight ni 1 at saka weight ni 2. So kaya natin makuha yan, di ba? Yung weights nila. Tapos kaya din natin, class, asset 1, kaya natin kunin yung yung standard deviation ni asset 1 standard deviation ni asset 2 or yung variance niya. Okay, may squared ako dito, class. So we can get the variance of 1 and the variance of 2. Okay, do you agree, class, na given the assets, tapos given yung values nila, makukuha natin yung W1 at saka W2? Pause muna ako, class. Okay, I have your answer, class, please. Can we get W1 and W2 if we know the values? If we know the values of asset 1 and asset 2? Paki-confirm nga, class. Can we get the weights? O, halimbawa, di ba? Asset 1, asset 2. Si asset 1, ang value niya 200. Si asset 2, ang value niya 800. Diba? So, you can get the total value, 1,000. Okay, tapos yung proportion ni asset 1, 200 divided by 1,000, that's 20%, di ba? Si asset 2 naman, 80%, kasi ang total dapat 100%. I think I saw an answer. Okay, yes, thank you, Moises. Yeah, you're correct, no? Yes, pwede natin maano. Of course, dapat alam natin class yung values ng assets, ha? Okay? So, si asset 1, 20%, si asset 2, 80%. So, we know W1, W2. Okay, if you're given the prices of the asset, and then you computed the log returns, okay, makukuha ba natin yung variance niya? Yes, class. Okay, var lang yan, no? Var, di ba? Parang yung, yung formula lang natin. Okay, and my formula naman yung variance, but we'll not go there. But using R, let's just var. Just get the variance of the returns of the asset. So, makukuha mo na yung variance ni asset 1, pati makukuha mo yung variance ni asset 2. Okay. So, can we now perform this? Yes, class. So, the technique here, class, is ganito, no? We will do this one by one at a time. So, magsisimula muna tayo kay asset 1. Okay, so kay 1 dito, si 1 dito, no? Okay, 1. And then pair it with asset 1 muna. Okay? So, pair natin si asset 1 with asset 1. So, how will that look like, class? Kunin lang natin to. Okay? So, how is this? Si I, di ba, asset 1 yon. Si J, asset 1. Tapos itong covariance IJ, this will be your covariance 1, 1. Okay, sulat natin, ha? So, this is W1 times W1. What is W1 times W1, class? What's the answer there? W1 times W1. Anyone, class? What's W1 times W1? Hello, class? Okay, W1 times W1. Of course, W1 squared, di ba? Okay. Hindi ko nakita yung answer. Okay, anyway. So, it's W1 squared. Yan, di ba? 1, replace everything with 1. Kasi 1 is to 1 yung pinapartner natin, no? 1 ito, 1 ito. Tapos ito, 1, 1. So, what is sigma 1, 1? Sigma 1, 1, this is the covariance of 1 with 1. And the covariance of 1 with 1 is its variance. Okay? Covariance ni 1 with 1. Okay, so it is the variance of 1. So, isusulat kong ganito. Variance of 1. Naka-squared siya, no? Squared. Although isa lang linagay ko dito, no? It means that this is the variance of 1. Why is that so? The covariance of 1 with itself is its variance. Okay? So, okay na tayo dito, no? So, summation to, ipa-plus natin. So, let's now connect 1 pa rin. Okay? Tapusin natin 1 dito with 2. So, let's partner 1 with 2 this time. So, paano si 1 with 2? This becomes W1, W2. Diba? As in WI, WJ. This becomes W1, W2. And then this is sigma 1, 2. So, that's the covariance of 1 and 2. So, I'm going to write here W1, W2, and then covariance of 1, 2. Okay? So, tapusin natin si 1 with 1, 1 with 2. So, pupunta na tayo tapos na tayo kay 1 dito, no? Na-pair out, na-pair na natin. So, we will go naman to asset 2. 2 with 1. Bali, ang partnering natin dyan, 1 with 1, 1 with 2, 2 with 1, 2 with 2. Okay? Dalawang asset, 4 na pairs yan. Okay, so let's now go here. Paano to? W2, W1, diba? Sigma 2, 1. Okay, take note of that. W2, W1, sigma 2, 1. W2, W1, sigma 2, 1. Okay, take a look at this class. W1, W2 is the same as W2, W1, diba? Kasi commutative yan eh. Product lang yan. And sigma 1, 2 class, covariance of the 1 with 2, is just the same as the covariance of 2 with 1. Okay? Kasi class, ang formula ng covariance, x minus x bar. So you're taking a look at your log returns times y minus y bar, okay, divided by, divide by ano to, class. Okay, summation siya, sorry, summation ng this one squared over n minus 1. No? If it's a sample, pag ano siya, n, pag it's population n. Okay, so you can see this is sigma 1, 2. Pag nauna naman si y, sigma 2, 1. So pareho lang yung class, no? It's the same. Pareho lang siya. So sigma 1, 2, covariance of 1 with 2 is the same as covariance of 2 with 1. Okay? So, pwede natin i-add to class, no? This will become 2, W1, W2, sigma 1, 2. Okay, we'll add it later. Okay, so tapos na to, no? This is done, this is done, this is done. So that leaves us with the last one, 2 and 2. So paano si 2 and 2 class? I-perform natin dito. Note class that this one is just the same as this one. Mas madali nga lang to kasi dalawang, ito kasi may isa pa, no? But they're the same. So that becomes 2 with 2, no? So W2, W2, what's that? W2 squared plus W2 squared. And then sigma 2, 2. What's that? That's the variance of 2. Kasi 2 with 2 eh. So we write variance, naka-squared siya variance eh, with 2. Alright? So this is now the risk, no? Okay, nakuha na natin kasi lahat nagawa na natin, no? So therefore, the risk, the variance of your portfolio is equal to W1 squared, variance of 1, plus, ito naman, W2 squared times the variance of 2, plus, ito class, pareho to, 2, W1, W2. Ano to? Covariance 1, 2 or covariance 2, 1. There you go. Okay? And this is just equal to this one class. No? Pareho lang yan. Pero mas simplified yung formula na to. Okay? And then if you want to get the standard deviation, the sigma sub p, and it's equal to the square root of your variance. So square root nito, ng buong to. Okay? So you get your standard deviation of your portfolio. Okay, so it's not easy compared to your returns kasi returns WI R sub I lang yan, summation. Ito naman class, may double summation tayo. Okay, and this gets more complicated if you have 5 assets. Kasi paano pag 5 assets class? Paano pag 5 assets? Ano ko lang ha? I-clear ko yung drawings. What if there are 5 assets? Eh di magiging ganito na yan class, no? Magiging ang pairwise natin kasi asset 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yung formula natin magiging okay, 1 with 2, una 1 with 1, no? Tapos 1 with 2, 1 with 3, 1 with 4, 1 with 5. I-pair up natin yan, no? Di ba? Magiging W1, W1, di ba? Tapos meron tayong W1, W2. Tapos meron tayong W1, W3. Meron tayong W1, W4. Meron tayong W1, W5. 1 pa lang yan, class. So punta tayo kay 2. 2 with 1, 2 with 2, 2 with 3, hanggang 2 with 5. Okay. Ganun din, no? Okay? Gaganon din natin yan. So, the more assets you have, the more involved is the computation for the standard deviation for the risk. Ganun din naman ka sa returns, no? The more returns, the more assets, the more the returns will be. Pero simple yung formula niya. Kunin mo lang dapat yung weight ng bawat isang asset, okay? And then yung returns ng bawat isang asset. So, i-multiply lang yan, tapos add. So, mas simple class yung pag-compute ng portfolio returns. Ang mas challenging yung portfolio risk. Buti na lang class, may R. Kasi mas madali yan kay R actually. Okay. So, any questions class about the formula for yan, portfolio risk and portfolio risk to, no? Yung return kasi nasa taas. Here. Okay. Tinya to kanina class, ano? Okay. Yung sigma, yung covariance is equal to your correlation multiplied by their standard deviations, no? Okay. So, syempre, ang correlation will be equal to the covariance divided by the standard deviation of each of the asset. Parang ini-standardize natin yung bawat asset. Okay? And then, my matrix form will deal with that in the future. Okay? Kasi mas madali talaga i-multiply ito ng yung functions are, okay, is based on this one. Is based on a matrix multiplication. So the variance is equal to the weight transpose multiplied by the sum of the weights. Okay? Okay, parang kulang ako dito. No? Okay, may kulang yata ako dito, class. Okay, anyway. So, let's take a look at an example, class. At least makapag-initial example tayo. No? So here, we are getting two assets, si SPY at saka si TLT. SPY is the exchange traded fund for S&P 500, no? Representative yan ng S&P 500. Si TLT naman, it's also the exchange traded fund for treasury bond. Okay? Treasury bond. So parang treasury bond yan na long term. Kasi ano siya, no? 20 plus year. Okay, so long term siya, 20 plus years na treasury bond. Okay, so we can use get symbols, no? And then dalawa yung ano natin, ano ko lang para mas makita natin. Okay. All right. C, SPY and TLT, check. Okay siya. Source is equal to Yahoo, check. Start date, check. End date, check. Auto.assign is equal to, okay, this should be what, class? Auto.assign is equal to true para magbigay siya ng pangalan ng SPY at saka TLT. Okay, so let's run this. Control Enter. Then we'll have two objects here, SPY at saka TLT. Ayan, class, SPY and TLT. And if you check this, diba? Pag chinek natin, yan, open, high, low, close ni SPY. Okay, representative ni Standard and Poor's. Okay, and then also yung TLT, long-term treasury to. Saan na siya? Ay, sorry. Wala. Kinuha ko na yung returns. Alright, so andyan na si SPY at saka TLT. No? Okay, my bad. Let me just take a look at this. 1257, okay, she's TLT. Si SPY, 1257. Dapat they should have the same number of observations, guys. And we expect that kasi pareho naman yung beginning natin at saka end dates. Okay. Now let's create yung log returns nila. Okay, individually muna natin kunin kasi hindi natin pwedeng kunin class yung using daily return yung lahat ng assets na hindi pa pwede. So dapat isa-isa. Tapos mag-NA.omit tayo. Although we said before that itong NA.omit as far as daily returns is concerned is of no use, no? Wala siyang gamit kasi si daily return nagde-default siya ng 0.000 dun sa first row. So since it's not NA, hindi rin siya made-delete, no? If you want this to be really used, gagamitin natin si performance analytics. Okay, yung kanyang return dot calculate, no? Sige, ito na muna gamitin natin class, no? And then we identify that the type is equal to log. Para log returns tayo. Okay. This one also, I'm going to copy this, Control C. Okay, Control V. All right. So now yung NA.omit there will make sense kasi si return.calculate, if you recall, class, when we get the log returns, type is equal to log, it will give us an NA sa simula. So when we say here NA.omit, tatanggalin na yun tatanggalin na ni R, no? Okay, so let's run this. Okay, Control Enter. Okay, sorry, ano nangyari? Mali. Sorry. Mali yung pag-spell ko. Return. All right. Return.calculate. Okay. I apologize for that. Let's run this both. Control Enter. Oh. Type is equal to log. Wait, ha? Sa performance analytics. Okay. Di ba type is equal to log then? Or is it continuous? Let me check class. Sorry. I'll go to performance analytics. Check natin. Okay. Return.calculate. So the good thing here is that we can check. Ayaw na magpumunta yan sa return. Okay. Return.calculate. Here. Oh, tama naman. Hindi. Sorry, class. Hindi type. Sorry, method pala. Yun ang syntax error. Okay. You can see that may mali tayo. May mali ako, no? Ang linagay ko dyan, type. Nung una class, nung quant mode dyan, daily return, tama yung type, no? But this time, since it's already performance analytics, iba yung syntax niya. Okay, I apologize for that. So this should be method. Okay, before abisado. Method, okay? Method is equal to log. Kaya yung unused argument, yung type. Kasi hindi niya na-recognize. Kasi sa syntax ni performance analytics, dapat method. There, return.calculate or calculate returns, pareho lang siya. Okay. So ang method is log. Okay, kapag simple, so dapat discrete. Okay, so let me run this. I'm sure this is okay already. Control Enter. Yan, nag-run na siya. Tapos tingnan natin class yung SPY log returns. Okay, take a look class. Wala na yung NA sa sa simula. Okay, so we have dealt with the NA already. And also for the TLT log returns, walang NA. Okay, it's important that NA has to be addressed. Otherwise, class, hindi talaga magra-run yung ginagawa natin. Okay. So let's go here. All right. Okay. So here, class. Okay. Nag-create tayo, di ba, ng log returns, no? Take note that we created one object. Okay. spy $spy.adjusted method is equal to log. So si spy log returns, isa lang siya. No? Univariate to, class. Spy adjusted. Okay. Yung isa naman, yung TLT, TLT adjusted. Okay, pwede natin baguhin yung column names ng bawat isa, no? But I'll leave that to you. Okay, so what are we doing now? We are going to merge them into one. Okay, if you recall, ito rinan din natin yesterday. So merge. Ano ko lang para makita natin. Okay, so what are we going to merge, class? Spy log returns, TLT log returns. Tapos, mag-create tayo ng object na ang pangalan, portfolio asset returns. Okay, we're going to create this and it will contain, merge natin to at saka ito. Okay, merge natin si spy at saka si TLT. And then all is equal to false. Anong ibig sabihin nito, class? Pag may mga missing value dun sa isa, okay, wag isasama, no? Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, tatanggalin natin. Kailangan yung common lang sa ano. Well, we are confident with this class kasi alam natin na pareho yung ano nila and isa lang naman yung NA yung sa unang-una. Alright. Okay, control enter. Okay. So we have now portfolio asset returns here. And it's now a ano na siya, bivariate na siya, dalawa na. SPY adjusted at saka TLT adjusted. Okay, ito na yung mga returns natin. So 1256. Okay. And then let's change the column names to pala. Dito ko pinalitan kasi adjusted eh. Okay, so para isang code lang. Column names ng portfolio asset returns, portfolio assets returns. Okay. C, spy.returns at saka TLT.returns. It will change the name kasi adjusted eh, no? Gawin natin returns. Pwede na gawin log returns. Okay? And then, tingnan natin, nabago na yung pangalan. No? Spy returns, TLT returns. Okay? And then ito class, not necessary na to. No? Itong NA.omit. Okay? So, even if we run this class, walang mangyayari kasi we already removed it at the start. So, wala na siyang NA. Alright? So, even if you run that, okay, let's try to run it, class. Control enter. Okay, wala namang mangyayari kasi, okay, 1256 pa rin siya. Ibig sabihin, walang NA dito sa merge data natin. Okay. Pause for a while, class. Are you able to follow? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Moise, sorry, hindi ko na-acknowledge yung answer mo kanina. Tama siya. Okay. Quick feedback lang, class, kung nakakasunod ba. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So, we're now going to compute for the returns, class. And the portfolio risk. Yun naman ang objective natin. How do we compute for the portfolio returns and the portfolio risk? For the portfolio returns, we know that we have to have a weight. Yan. Okay? Weight. When we do next time, pag nag-portfolio optimization na tayo, ang papahanapin natin kay R, hanapin niya yung optimal weight. So, siya yung papasolve natin. Anong weight ang magbibigay ng maximum returns or minimum risk? Okay, that's what we're going to do in portfolio optimization. For now, class, mag-a-assume muna tayo ng weights and let's say it's 50-50. Okay? Kasi ngayon, ang gusto natin ma-compute yung returns at saka yung risk without having to solve for the weights. No? So ito, nag-create ako ng object, weight 50-50 is equal to, so this is a vector, no? 0.5, hindi. Dalawa to no? I-run natin, control enter. Okay. So let's take a look. Where is it, class? Vector siya, 50-50. Isang 0.5, isang 0.5. Of course, you can change it into 60-40, etc. But for now, let's just i-experiment yun na lang yun. Okay. First class is returns. So how do we compute for the returns? Okay. So Take a look at this class. So dati, yung sa performance analytics, ang ginamit natin, return.calculate or calculate returns. Dito naman class, return.portfolio. Yan. Okay? So, ginagamit yung class pag portfolio na tayo, if you are dealing with the returns of a portfolio. So it's not ano class, it's not return.calculate, no? Neither is it calculate.returns. Hindi rin pa pwedeng daily returns class. Kasi si daily returns hanggang univariate lang yan. The problem is we have yung portfolio asset returns natin, di ba? Bivariate tayo, dalawang asset. Dalawang asset. Tapos, kailangan natin, para ma-compute yung portfolio returns, kailangan i-identify natin yung weights. This one. So what will happen, class? What will happen? Ang mangyayari dito, magkakaroon tayo ng isang column. Yung return ng portfolio. Kasi ito, si SPY 2 Ito si TLT. So what will be the return of the portfolio? Daily return will be, since ang weight na 50-50, this will be computed by multiplying 50% and this one by 50% and then adding. Or, di ba, that's the same as getting the average, no? Pareho siya sa getting the average. So, subukan lang natin, class, no? I-copy natin to. Control C. Control V. Okay? So, it's the same as multiplying this by 0.5. Okay? And then, plus yung return ni TLT multiplied by 0.5. So, ganun, class, no? Ganun ang portfolio return for this day. Ilang days tayo? 1256. So, gagawin niya sa bawat isa yan. Okay? Alright, 50%, since ang weight nila, 50-50, 50% ng SPY returns, 50% ng TLT returns will be, sum niya, class, kasi 100% yan, will be the returns, portfolio returns for day January 3. Okay, so let's run this, control enter. Okay, I'm getting 003840. Okay, tingnan natin, class, kung if it will be the same. Okay, so let's go here. Portfolio returns natin. So na yan. Ito, no? Here. Plus. Here. So, portfolio returns 50-50. Yan ang pangalan ng object natin. We're using return.portfolio. Anong pinapahanap natin ng portfolio returns? Yung portfolio asset returns natin. Ito. Okay, di ba? So, dapat, ano yan, more than one asset, class. Kasi pag return.portfolio, ang assumption yan, more than two assets or more. And then we said, ang weights natin, is equal to itong weights na 50-50. Ano yung weights na 50-50 na object? Ito yun, di ba, class? 0.5, 0.5. So, tama yung kasi dalawang assets. Yung unang asset, i-multiply ng 50%. Yung pangalawang asset, 50%. So, kung tatlong assets tayo, class, kailangan tatlo yung weights natin. Yani 30, 20, 50. Hindi pa pwedeng dalawa lang. Mag-e-error yun. Okay, bawat asset should have their own and the total should be 100. So, pwedeng 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Pwede yun. Re-recognize naman yung 1/3 ni R. Okay, so let's run this. I'm going to run this. Control Enter. Okay, and then i-check ko lang. Asa na si return? Portfolio. Ano ang pangalan? Return. And then, portfolio returns 50-50. Okay. Portfolio returns. Asa na yan? Naran ko na ba? Parang hindi pa. Okay, run ko ulit to, class. Ito. Control Enter. Alright. Ayan. Ito. Hindi ko pala na-run kanina. Portfolio returns 50-50. I'm going to click this, class. Let's see. Ayan. 3.804 to the negative 3. So that's 0.000384. Is it the same? Yeah, plus 3840736. Yeah, exactly the same. Okay? So that's how you get the return of the portfolio for day 1. Okay, so combination na siya ng SPY at saka ng TLT. Okay? All right. So let me proceed. And then here, what I did was to napalitan ko na yung pangalan. All right. So yun na class, no? And then dito class, tapos na to. All right. So ito papalitan ko rin ng name kasi yung name niya is portfolio returns. So maybe let's make it column names portfolio returns 50/50 will be okay, gawin natin portfolio returns 50/50. Okay, para mapalitan na yung control enter. You can check portfolio returns 50/50. Of course you can name it differently, no? Ano lang naman yan. Parang exercise lang yan to see how you can change the column name. And then the head class will give us the first 6 observations. There you go. And you can check the other days class that it's generated by multiplying 50% of the SPY and then 50% of the TLT. All right. So now that we have computed for the portfolio returns, daily portfolio returns, okay, what we can do now is to mag-calculate muna tayo class ng standard deviation, yung portfolio risk. But in order to do that class, okay, so itong gagawin natin, let's compute first for the mean of SPY, which is the mean of portfolio assets returns and then dollar SPY returns. In other words, class, dito sa SPY returns, portfolio asset returns ito. Portfolio asset returns, kukunin natin yung average na. Okay, so that we can get the average of SPY. Mag-create tayo ng panibagong object na yung returns ni SPY. Okay, yung average na. So ito class, isang lang yan, no? Okay, i-run natin to class, control enter. So where do you now have mean of SPY? Ito class, no? Isa lang. Isang object lang siya. Bakit? Kasi ito lang yung class, no? Portfolio asset returns, ito, no? Average nito, tapos yung average din ito. Okay. So let's get that here. Okay. And kunin na rin natin class yung standard deviation ni SPY. Okay. So standard deviation ni SPY is the standard deviation ng portfolio asset returns tapos yung SPY returns lang. Class, sandali lang. Sorry. Okay. So what are we doing here, class? Kinuha lang natin, we got the average of SPY returns. Saan natin kinuha si SPY returns? Dito, di ba? Portfolio ng asset returns, andi dito si SPY returns. And then we can also get the standard deviation of this. Okay? Same thing with TLT. Ito siya, no? Okay, so let's run this. Now, yung mean at saka standard deviation, isang measure lang yan, di ba? Control enter. So all of them will be under values. Ayan, si mean ng SPY, mean DLT, standard deviation ni SPY, standard deviation ni TLT. Okay. Alright? So, anong gagawin natin, class? Di ba? Kailangan natin yung covariance. If you recall, class, yung formula ng portfolio risk, okay, quick review, class. Formula ng portfolio risk is as measured by the variance, or pag kinuha natin square root ng standard deviation, is equal to yung double summation natin. So this is the easiest way to I is equal to 1 up to n. Ganun dito I is equal to 1. And then WI, WJ, covariance ij. Okay? And then, iaano lang natin, class. Ito, dalawang assets lang, kaya madali, no? Meron na actually tayong 50-50. Okay. Tapos, ang kailangan din natin dito, di ba, yung variance ni 1, okay? Yung variance ni 2, at saka yung covariance ni 1, 2. So, we actually have already the standard deviation. Pag in-square mo yan, variance na yan. So, ang kailangan na lang natin itong covariance. So, dito natin kukunin siya. How do you get the covariance? Notice, class, ang covariance, dalawa, no? So, siguro, mas maganda kung ginawa ko itong SPY at saka TLT. Pero just to shorten it, covariance ni SPY at saka TLT. So, ang formula na COV, no? COV, saan natin kukunin, class? Dun sa portfolio asset returns, the first asset is SPY returns, comma, sa portfolio asset returns din natin, yung TLT returns. So in other words, class, kukunin natin yung covariance ng SPY returns at saka ni TLT returns. Okay, take note, ang kinukuha natin na ang ginagamit natin is the returns, no? We didn't use the price, ha? What we are looking for, the portfolio optimization we're doing is based on the returns. Okay? So yon, class. Covariance, di ba? Covariance ng I with J. Ano si I? I is your SPY. Ano si J? Yung number 2, si TLT. So, paano kukunin sa X sa R2? Madali, class. COV lang, COV. Okay? But you have to identify ano si asset I. Si asset I, class, di ba galing sa portfolio asset returns? Si SPY returns, no? Si asset number 2 will be ito. Si TLT returns. Also from this object. Alright? So, sige. We can run this now. I hope clear yung class, yung formula. Covariance lang siya, no? Again, class, covariance ni Covariance ni SPY returns at saka ni TLT returns. Ang kinukuha natin na covariance yung returns ni SPY at saka returns ni TLT, not the prices, ha? Kasi, di ba, originally, dinownload natin yung prices nila. We're not interested in the prices. What we're modeling are the returns. Alright. So, run natin to. And then ito, although narana natin kanina, no? Tapos pinapaprint lang natin. Here. Print. Okay. Pwede natin i-round na lang. Round natin. Round off ng 4 decimal place. Ay, nag-ano pa na pala tayo dito. Sorry. Mali. Sorry. Nag-ano na ako. Sorry. Okay. Nag-percent na ako dito. So that will be the decimal place. So ito 6, ito 4. Gawin natin pareho, no? 4. Para uniform siya. Okay? All right. So let's run this, class. Okay. All right. So you have the covariance, ito. So masyadong maliit. Gawin ko tong 6. Hindi nakuha yung Kaya pala ginawa kong 6 to kasi masyadong maliit. Run ko ulit. Ayan. Negative 0.000022. No? Si correlation, negative 0.1493. Okay. So by now, if you recall, class, from your basic stat, si covariance at saka si correlation, parehong parehong sign. Ibig sabihin yan, class, they move in opposite directions kasi si correlation negative. At medyo moderately weak yung nila, correlation nila. No? 0.14, negative 0.14. Alright. So we have this data now. Si correlation, okay, at saka si covariance. Okay. So, kunin muna natin, class, compute muna natin yung variance, no? Okay. I'm going to use the long formula, diba? For a 2-asset portfolio, class, remember, ang portfolio variance is equal to W1 squared times, class? This is your variance to, no? Squared. or S standard deviation squared or variance squared. Variance ni asset 1. Okay? Ito naman, W2 squared times variance ni asset 2 plus 2 times W1, W2 covariance ni S1 and S2. Okay, I hope you recall the formula kanina class, yung ginawa natin, di ba? For a two-asset portfolio, I'll just write it again. The portfolio variance, okay, variance pa lang to class ha. If you want to get the standard deviation or volatility of the portfolio, kukunin natin square root nito. Pero for now, yung variance na muna. Di ba sabi natin, di ba, summation yan, double summation yan, di ba? Yung kaninang ginawa natin, no? WI, WJ, covariance IJ. Okay? Or, if we, for a two-asset portfolio, di ba, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Ima-match natin 1 with 1, 1 with 2, and then 2 with 1, 2 with 2, apat siya. And then we were able to show a while ago that this is equal to W1 squared, okay, variance of 1. Pero dito nilagay niya S, sigma squared. No? Pareho lang naman. Variance, pwedeng var of 1 or sigma squared of 1. And then plus, yung pangalawa, yung asset 2, W2 squared, okay, variance of 2, plus W1, W2, covariance, 1, 2. Yan ang formula class. Ito yon class for a two-asset portfolio. So, ima-manual muna natin ha. Manual muna natin. So, what's this class? Ito. Weights 50-50. And then, subset yung 1. Asan bing weights 50-50 class? Nasa ano natin kanina? Nasa values, no? Dalawa yan, 0.5, 0.5. Then, kukunin natin yung una. Okay? Pareho lang naman, no? But anyway, this is the formulaic way to go about it. So we get from the weights 50-50 object and then subset the first one and then square it. Okay? I-square natin. And then multiply that by, di ba may standard deviation na tayo ng SPY? Ang kailangan natin yung variance, kaya square natin. Okay? So this is now the first term here. Ano yung pangalawa? Weights 50-50 yung pangalawa, number 2. Okay, it so happened that 50-50 sila class. But if it's different, kunyari 40-60, this will be very important, no? And then squared natin, kasi naka-square siya class. Times standard deviation of TLT, kasi kinumpita natin si standard deviation, square lang natin siya para variance to. No? Okay, and then plus W1, W2. Okay, so that's weights ng 50-50 times, okay, sorry ito. Ito pala. Okay, I apologize, may 2 dito class, may 2. Kasi inad natin to, no? 2 times weights ng 50-50, yung first one, times weight ng 50-50, yung second one, yung W2, multiplied by what? Ito class. Okay, covariance ST. Di ba kinompute natin to sa taas kanina, covariance. This is your sigma 1, 2. Covariance ng 1 and 2. Okay, there. So it's in formulaic form. Of course, class, later on, gagamitin natin si performance analytics para ma-compute ng directly yung ano yung standard yung portfolio variance. Okay? So if we run this class, ito portfolio variance to. Control enter. And what's a portfolio variance? Ano bang pangalan binigay ko? Portfolio variance 50-50. Ito, no? Portfolio variance 50-50. So if we print this class, yan. So everyday class, no? portfolio, portfolio returns to wait. Saan yun? Portfolio variance, ito. Isa lang siya dapat, no? 6.4549 times 10 to the negative 5. If I print this, ito print ko dito, class. No? Where am I? Here. So ito siya, no? Tapos, how do we get the portfolio standard deviation? Yung risk talaga, class? Square root. Here. You get the square root of portfolio variance 50-50 to get the portfolio standard deviation 50-50. Run natin to. There you go. And then, i-print natin yung variance at saka yung standard deviation. Ito 8 decimal places kasi masyado siya maliit. Ito 6 decimal places. Control Enter. All right, there. So the portfolio variance, okay, assuming a weight of 50-50 is 0.006, no, 491, and the portfolio standard deviation is 0.008. Okay, I just want to mention something, class. 0.008, yan ang standard deviation ng portfolio. Okay. Ano yung standard deviation ni ano? What is SD ni SPY? 0.013. Ano yung standard deviation ni TLT? 0.011. Okay. How does that compare with the portfolio standard deviation? 0.013, 0.011. Okay? Ano, class? Standard deviation, class, in portfolio, 0.008. What do you notice? Anybody? Comment, please. Ano na notice nyo sa standard deviation sa risk ni portfolio? Again, ang risk ni SPY, 0.01, ano, 0.0, asan na yung print ko ba? Hindi. Okay, hindi ko na print, class. Yung standard deviation ni ano, ni SPY. Okay, which is here. I don't know, malaki. Si SPY, class, 1.3, no? Si ano naman, 1.1. 0.013, 0.011. Okay. So their standard deviations, how does that compare with the portfolio standard deviation? Anyone? Okay, answer, class. Yung portfolio risk, mas maliit kaysa any one of them. Ang portfolio, ang risk ni SPY is 0.013. Ang risk ni TLT is 0.011. Okay, ang risk ng portfolio, class, is 0.008. So that's what a portfolio does, no? A portfolio, class, ang nangyari dito, nagkakaroon ng shared risk. Yeah, mas bumaba, thank you. Mas bumaba yung portfolio standard deviation. And that's the natural thing that will happen, class. Kaya nga nagpo-portfolio eh. Diba? A portfolio will diminish or will minimize yung standard deviation ng bawat portfolio. Okay? So let's now, analyzing it, class, madali lang to. So average ng portfolio, mean, yung return to, annual, is simply the mean of your portfolio standard returns. Ito, di ba? Kinuha natin kanina yan, times 252. And then yung standard deviation naman is the square root of 252. Ito yung risk ng annualized risk ng portfolio. Okay? And then i-print natin siya. Okay. The annualized portfolio mean return, 50-50. Ito yung weights, no? 50-50. Kung 60-40, and the 60-40 is 4%, 4.6%. And the annual standard deviation, the annualized risk is 12.56%. Ito, class, daily kasi ito, kaya maliit masyado. No? Okay? And it will be good to compare this, class. I-compare nyo siya with yung risk, yung annualized risk ni SPY at saka annualized risk ni TLT. Of course, you can do that. Ganito lang, class. You multiply it with 252, no? And you multiply the standard deviation by square root of 252. And you'll find out that yung returns, class, paano? Yung returns will be, it could be between the two assets. Okay? So, oftentimes, yung return ng portfolio will not be higher than any of the assets. Oftentimes, it will be between. Pero yung standard deviation class, it will definitely be lower than any of the two. Okay, and then here, class, okay, let's again use yung table that annualized returns for quick metrics. Okay, so print natin, diba, ito, kukunin natin, class, yung ang function performance analytics. Okay, table that annualized returns, and then yung summary ilalagay dito. Ito yung function eh. So, i-compute to, class. Tapos ipiprint siya. Ano yung asset, class? Sa portfolio returns 50-50. Okay, so i-run natin to. There you go. Ang sabi dito, performance analytics table that annualized returns here. Okay, annualized return 3%, 3.88%. Okay, again, it will be good to compare this with pwede natin isama sa table na to yung siguro gawin yung exercise yan, yung annualized return ni SPY at saka yung annualized return ni TLT. And then you will see that one of them will have a higher returns, okay? And then annualized standard deviation will be lower for your portfolio. Okay, ano tong si Sharpe ratio? Okay, what's Sharpe ratio, class? Sharpe ratio is risk-adjusted return. Yun yung annualized return divided by the standard deviation. Pero dapat, risk-adjusted, dapat i-define natin. Hindi natin dinefine dito yung risk-free rate. Okay, next time, i-define natin. Para yung Sharpe ratio natin will be Sharpe ratio natin, class. Sharpe ratio natin will be, it will be risk-adjusted siya, yung Sharpe returns, yung Sharpe ratio natin. Okay, so you'll have annualized return, annualized standard deviation, at saka annualized Sharpe ratio. Okay? Alright. So ito, class, sa ilalim, minano ko lang yung dinefine ko lang ulit. Alright, so I think we're good. We're able to compute, okay? We're able to compute for yung risk at saka return. As an exercise, class, pwede nyo gawin to, no? I'll leave this as an exercise to you. Paano kung kung 3 asset portfolio, class? 1, 2, 3. Paano yung magiging yung risk, yung niya, class, yung portfolio return R sub P is simply equal to, diba? Madali yung returns eh. WI R sub I is equal to weight ng asset 1, return ng asset 1 plus weight ng asset 2, return ng asset 2 plus weight ng asset 3, return ng asset 3. Madali, class, madali yung return, portfolio returns. Ang problema, class, kapag 3 asset portfolio. Okay? Tingnan natin, class. I'm going to show you quickly. Gamitin natin, class, yung di ba dalawang formula sa baba sa portfolio risk. So this is where the formula for portfolio risk, yung pangalawa, yung una, class, ito, will become helpful. Okay? So ito, class, at saka ito pareho lang yan. Ang advantage nito, class, okay, is pag maraming assets, no? Ang sinasabi dito, ngayon dito, dapat gagamitin natin to if I is not equal to J. So hindi natin gagawin dito yung 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Kasi dapat dito I should not be equal to J. If I is equal to J, dito natin gagawin yan. Okay? So ano yung I is equal to J? Yun yung class, yung 1, 1, yung pair, 2, 2, at saka 3, 3. Okay? Sila yung magkaka-pair na 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So how do we get that? Ito yung gagamitin natin doon. So that will be W sub I squared. So di ba W sub I, isa lang yan, no? 1, 1 lang kasi yan eh, 1, 1 squared plus variance ng 1 plus pupunta tayo hanggang n, no? Si 2, 2 at saka si 3, 3. So plus W2 squared variance of 2 plus W 3 squared plus variance of 3. Okay. So tapos na to. Yung 1, 1, yung 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, ano siya? Panay variances, no? So pag 5 yan, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 5 kagad yun. Ito na nga yung class. Ang pairwise nito dapat hindi equal. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, hindi pwede na 2, 2, 2, 3, and then 3, 1, 3, 2. Hindi pwedeng 3, 3. Kasi, so, excluded si 1, 1, 2, 2, at saka si 3, 3. So, ito mangyayari, class. Yan. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung formula, class, no? So, plus daw, W sub I, W sub J, sigma ij. So, parang yung kanina, no? So, W1, ito muna tayo, W1, W2. W2, sigma 1, 2. Okay? Tapos, itong 1, 2 class, pareho yan ito 1. Diba? Kasi W2, W1, sigma 2, 1. So, they're the same. Okay? So, this one, 2, 1, 2, and 2, 1, pareho lang siya. So, gagawin natin itong 2. Dalawa na yan. So, plus 2 of this. Tapos, ganun din itong 1, 3, at saka 3, 1. Pareho lang yan, class, no? So, magiging ano to? Plus 2, W1, W3, covariance 1, 3. Okay? And last, plus 2, 3, 3, 2. Remember, ang formula ng covariance, class, no? Multiplication yan, kaya pwedeng ma-invert siya. So, W2, W3, covariance 2, 3. Okay? So, that, class, is the formula for the risk of a 3-asset portfolio. Okay? So, ang challenge sa inyo, class, okay, parang yung kanina, 2-asset portfolio, ito na-expand lang. So, kukunin nyo rin, class, yung mean ng asset 1, standard deviation ng asset 1, covariance ng asset 1 with 2. Ito ang mga kukunin nyo. Covariance 1 with 2, covariance 1 with 3, covariance 2 with 3. And also, variance ng 1 or standard deviation ng 1, pwede naman square yon, standard deviation ni 2, standard deviation ni 3. And there you go, class. You can now perform this manually. So ngayon manually muna tayo, but we'll go to that portion na hindi na natin kailangan kasi ang hirap niyan. Paano yung case yung 10-asset portfolio? So paano yung 10-asset portfolio? 10 kagad nito, di ba? At saka 10 pairwise. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 1, 10. Tapos 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. Ang dami nun, class. So the more assets, class, the more complex will be your portfolio risk. Buti na lang, class, may R kasi it makes matters really very easy. Okay? So you can practice on this, class. No? You can practice on this and then you can follow our example. Okay? Ito. Dito, di ba, nag-compute tayo ng ano? Ayan, no? Di ba? Kukunin natin covariance. Covariance ni 1 with 2, 1 with 3, okay, and then 2 with 3. So, tatlong covariance ang kukunin natin. Okay? Tapos, correlation, tatlo din. Okay? So, we'll be able to get covariance, correlation. Tapos, ito yung formula, class. Mababago to. Magiging W1 squared, variance of 1, W2 squared, variance of 2, W3 squared, variance of 3. So, magiging tatlo to. Tapos, ito magiging tatlo din. 2W1, W2, covariance 1, 2. 2W1, W3, covariance 1, 3. 2W2, W3, covariance 2, 3. Yan. So, all in all, 6 terms na siya. So, 6 na idadagdag nyo dito. Okay? To get the square root, and to get the variance and then get the square root para makuha natin yung ano. Tapos, annualize, class. And then, isa pang challenge ko sa inyo, paano nyo kaya isasama dito sa table na to yung returns, yung standard deviation ni SPY at saka ni ano, ni SPY at saka ni TLT. Okay? So that's one thing that you could try para tatlo yung ano natin, All right, it's time, Cus. So let me